Hey fam, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl. I'm back. I'm back, y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm back. It's been a minute since I've been streaming on my own channel. I know y'all been waiting on me to get my act together. Now, as you know, I've been off on other channels being a guest as a player. There's a couple of ongoing campaigns that I'm in right now. And so, yeah, your girl's been busy, but I'm so glad to be back with my people. And I have a very exciting guest today. We're going to actually delve into talking about Wakanda Forever. Recently, I got the opportunity to go see the movie. And big spoiler alert, if you haven't yet seen the movie, we're probably going to be dropping quite a bit of spoilers here. So if you'd like to go ahead, make sure you see the movie first, and then come back to this episode. No worries, I totally understand. But of course, we're gonna go ahead and quickly go over our sponsors for today. As y'all know, here we go. Yes, yes, indeed. So, we have 88 Riddles here. Uh, Listen, shout out to Jay over at 88 Riddles. Jay can take my money any day. Y'all know he's got dice boxes, he's got t shirts, he's got all sorts of tabletop accessories, and the latest designs. Oh, y'all, okay. I just got a gift for my DM, which is this lovely replica of the box that you'll see on Hellraiser if you're a fan of those movies. Oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. You guys have to go check it out. If you guys go to etsy.com/shop/88 riddles, you can go ahead and use the code gamer and get 10% off your purchase. So your girl's hooking you up. So definitely get on over there before everything is sold out, because Jay sold out quick. So shout out to Jay. And also, we're going to give a shout out to our other sponsor, which is 1985 Games. Y'all have seen me talk about the terrain pieces that 1985 Games has. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, gee, I just had it too. What happened? Come on now. Come on. There it is. Okay. So, yes, yes, y'all. So, 1985 Games is amazing. They have these terrain pieces that I've been telling you guys about. They also have their deck of stories that I've been using. They have NPCs, they have environmental conditions, they have story prompts. Oh my, these decks are amazing, guys. You have to check them out. And if you go to 1985games.com/w/share, then you guys would be helping your girl out. I am an official affiliate of theirs, and I'm loving it. I'm loving everything that they're putting out these days. And why not get a nice gift for your DM? They've got a sale going on, so get on over there. And also, I've got merch as well. If you go to shop.cautionarygames.com, your girl has some merch for you. So y'all know, I'm going to point to him. There he is. There's Ditz the Dice Goblin, my lovable little mascot for this channel. And I've got tote bags, I've got t-shirts, mugs, and also I've got my design for loves. Sorry. I promise I talk for a living. I've got my hugs are free action design in much the same. And also, listen, let me tell you, the comfy pillows, The comfy pillows are life. I love it. So get on over to the shop and you can use the code GAMER there as well for 10% off there. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my wonderful guest. Guys, I am really excited about my guest for today. My guest today is Navaar Jackson. Navaar, he, him, is a proud husband, father, and nerd. TTRPGs have become a big part of his life, and he loves sharing it with new people. He is the creator of the Secret Nerd podcast and is also delving into the world of writing and game development. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce Navaar. Woo! Hey.
Good to be here. I'm super excited.
I'm so glad to have you on the show. I've actually been enjoying being a part of the Secret Nerd Society Discord.
Yeah.
Great community. You know,
Thank you.
everybody's been just so cool and chill. And yeah, I mean, you gotta tell me, like, being a parent and a spouse, I mean, is gotta be like the biggest like juggling act that anyone in the TTRPG space can handle. And kudos to you, sir. I mean,
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot for sure. You find time to make it work. Different projects take more time, and sometimes you'll find yourself up very late. But I'm very fortunate to have an incredible family and the ability to still have fun with my hobbies in the meantime. So, yeah,
that's wonderful. That's what's up. I love that.
yeah,
When it comes to wrangling people together, you know, that's the main challenge that I think I've been kind of skittish of, because I hate to be an imposition on people as it is.
Yeah.
So my fledgling experience as a DM so far is just based totally on, okay, I hate to like try to fit a toe into your already busy schedule.
yeah.
But if you don't mind, I would really love to run a game for you. But I more and more as time has gone on, I've realized that you really can't go wrong by announcing yourself as a DM when you walk into a room, because like,
Yeah.
oh, what? Oh, you can run game. Great. Let's.
Yeah.
Where's my dice? Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
Let's go. Sure.
Yeah. For sure. It's I mean, like, I think the best thing to now, it seems like more people are realizing, like, if we set boundaries and we understand, like, hey, these are the times and the availability that I have, and like these are the exceptions that I might have to make. Learning which people are willing to accept that and which people aren't helps you figure out who you can play games with. And I think that helps a lot to understand, to be like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, you're not available at this time. Like, if I have availability this day, then we can work something out. And then now you can know, you know what I mean, who those people are. And then the people that are like, sorry, I need it to be now. Figure it out. That's where people, you go, okay, cool, thanks, Kid Rocks, please.
Well, you know, it's like, well, then tell me what you think of when you hear about these websites that they have now where folks actually sign up to be a DM, right? And they're paid to be a DM for whatever sessions they feel you can bring to the table. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
More power to them, first of all. I personally don't want to run games for complete strangers. There are even times when I'm like vaguely acquainted to somebody and I just don't know enough about them, and they're like, I really want to get a game in, and I'm like, I know I could run a game for you, but like, I just don't know enough about you to know if this is a good situation. So for me, it's all about comfort. I love having a game where everybody feels safe and comfortable, and we can like let loose in the role play. That's what I'm interested in. But I think that those are great tools for people, GMs who are comfortable running a game for anybody. People, probably the same kind of people that will run a game at a convention, right? Just like you sit down at a table, people sign up for it. You don't know who they
Right.
are. Here we go.
Mhm.
And players who need to get into a game and don't have that group at home. So I think it's a good tool. It's just not a tool for me specifically. And I even have friends who like they used to run games for patrons, and I think they stopped because it was even at that
Got
level, it
you.
was still like, yes, they're paying for it, but it becomes a whole other situation that you don't know exactly what you're signing up for, because anybody can just go like, cool, I'll give you $40 or whatever, how much it is, and you don't know who that person is or why they're signing up or et cetera, et
Mhm.
cetera. So yeah.
Exactly. I feel like websites that are geared towards that purpose, hopefully at their most sufficient, they are empowering their DMs by vetting folks who are coming in. So like if have a bit of a questionnaire as you're signing up, like, so what's your experience level?
Yeah.
Have you played homebrew only, or have you also done adventure league,
Yeah.
or just little cues to let folks know, okay, these folks have been doing this a while, and it
Mhm.
seems like they know what they're doing, so that they're not gonna just run their DM in circles,
Mhm.
because sometimes, and it's unfortunate, but sometimes there is an entitlement
Mhm.
that happens when folks pay for um, DM services,
Yeah.
or any services really.
Right.
And my humble opinion is that paying for something doesn't entitle you to be rude or lewd or
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
anything untoward the person that is taking their time and effort
Mhm.
to bring you enjoyment, you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully, um, as these websites grow, they'll tend towards that, because honestly, I feel like, coming from an acting background,
Mhm.
that it's worth someone's time if they are entertaining you to, yes, go ahead and compensate them.
Yeah.
But like I said, at the same time, like, there's that thin line of entitlement sometimes. So,
Mhm.
just giving your DMs that buffer, to help them out a bit is really a good idea, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're actually going to dive a little bit into conversation about Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
And what I want to do first is take a moment. We're going to take a short, quick break and then come back. But when we come back, we're going to dive right in. So stay tuned, guys.
Easy to.
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level with easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Malachor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
Fam, and we are back. And once again, my guest Navaar Jackson is with me, and we are about to dive right in to talking about Black Panther. The Wakanda Forever movie was amazing. We got to do the shoulder roll. Yes, sir. Okay, so we here. So I think the thing that I loved the most about the movie, at least when it opened, is that they took a moment of silence.
Oh my God!
For Chadwick, and I just when I went, the entire theater was just silent. You know, just everyone took that moment of silence, and when they had all of the frames were dedicated to him on screen, I mean, shout out to Marvel for doing that, because that was a real tribute. I felt from that very start, you know, that already had tears in my eyes as well. I mean, just I don't know that there was a dry eye in the house like throughout this whole thing. When it comes to representation, and we talk about this a lot here on the show, when it comes to representation in the acting world and in the TTRPG world, you know, it's easier because we are the creators of the worlds that we play in to manipulate that and have agency over that. And of course, until the Black Panther movies came out, I mean, really, this had to be, the first movie had to have been the very first like overt you know, effort of a major movie house to make sure that this was a movie with our representation as Black folk. Right? Like, my jaw hit the floor and stayed there throughout the first whole movie. Like, wow, like just the presentation. And I'm not just talking about favorable presentation either, because of course you have Killmonger, for example, as the main villain of that story. And you know, you talk about representation at its fullest. That's the thing that I found was, you know, overwhelming to me, because you know, our representation in, you know, traditionally our representation in other properties throughout time, you know, have been dismal, you know, or a brief flash in the pan. You know, the Black person always gets killed. You know, it's
or they're a bad person, or
gosh, you know. But even though Killmonger was the villain, there was depth there. There was an onion. There was layers of why he felt that he was exerting his will for a purpose that he thought was just.
Yeah.
So that's what floored me of the first one. This second one, oh, okay, they took it up another level.
Yeah.
Okay, with the Aztec leanings of the I'm going to get the name of the people incorrect.
Talocan. Yeah.
Talocan, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I was just so amazed. I was like, they did their homework. Yes. I was so thrilled.
Yeah. It was really, I mean, it was incredible to see. And like the way that they change color, like they're brown people underwater and then they're blue when they come out of the water. The language, the use of the actual language, which is like, from what I understand, not a very widely spoken language, and like to, you know, for them to go in and do the research, learn that and make sure it was done well, like that was, yeah, it's just so good on so many levels. And I think what they did with Killmonger as an antagonist in the first movie, I think holds up really well. Like you talk to many people and many people are like, I mean, Killmonger wasn't that wrong, but it's also like, but until you get to the end where it's like, okay, well now we're gonna go kill the world, and it's like, okay. You were right about, yeah, you were right about, like, yes, you know, like we could have done more, like we could have intervened, things could have changed, things could have been different, for sure. But, you know, Marvel has to have a quote unquote bad person, and so you end up with that scene. And I think what was different and better in Wakanda Forever is that there's that same aspect of it, of like trying to understand what's going on in the world, but Namor had a more in-depth story in the fact that he was like 500 years old and had lived underwater in fear of the surface world for a good reason, because anytime he had seen it, would, you know, there had been wars and colonization and you know, all of these terrible things. And so for him, I want to protect my people, and that made him have an extreme reaction. I had a little bit of like, are they gonna kill another person? Please, no more. I can't do this.
Right? Oh my
As we're
gosh.
watching it.
Okay.
I'm like, please, just
I'm like, well, y'all
let them
open
live.
movie with T'Challa's death, and then Letitia Wright. Shout out to Letitia Wright, because that I felt that sense of urgency that she had when she was trying to do her best to save her brother's life, and it had amounted to not in the end. She couldn't get the solution there in time. When she was trying to make a facsimile of the herb. And I felt that it was so raw, because it's like, I want to fix this. I need to fix this. This is my brother. I'm the smart one. I'm, you know, I have this mantle of genius that I wear, and I can find a solution for most every other thing that you throw at me. But having that issue, trying to you know, get a working copy of the herb after the whole crop of it had been destroyed. My heart went out for everyone involved. And then after that, to your point, when Namor starts attacking Wakanda, and it's that scene, the scene where he throws those bombs right into the throne room, and here's Queen Ramonda. Oh, we're gonna get into our girl Angela Bassett in a moment. I mean, just like protecting
Yeah.
The
Riri.
young,
Yeah.
yes, protecting Riri as if that was her own daughter. And I felt that too. It was like this lady just reconnects with a girl that could potentially, lend, her skills to their
Hmm.
kingdom, and could be the first of many who, in T'Challa's memory,
Yeah.
reconnect with her people, from a country that has meat.
Hmm.
And just as soon as Queen Ramonda uh, was killed as well, I said, "Oh my God, I can't." Marvel, y'all have my heart. What's happening? Come on, what?
Why are
Oh
you doing this
dear.
to us? Yeah. Yeah, that was rough.
Oh,
I know. It was really rough. But I mean, I think like, you know, in service to the story, um, it helps to understand why, um, my God, Shuri goes to the place that she goes to, why she gets so angry, why she decides to just move forward with this attack, and because she's going through it and she hasn't really grieved her brother yet. She just kind of repressed it and moved on and went to work like many workaholics do, um, and said, I will work so much that I don't think about what's going on. And I mean, there's the incredible scene of them, like Queen Ramonda trying to get her to grieve and to like burn her funeral robes, and she doesn't want to do it. Um, all of that goes into this incredible storytelling about what it's like to be angry and what it's like to have that level of anger and grief and not know where to put it. Um, and so, yeah, I really love that. I think I've listened to other people talk about it, and friends of mine and stuff, and have like similar criticisms about some of those storylines. And I just like, I think it's tough because on one hand, like, yes, I don't necessarily want a movie about two groups of POCs fighting each other. You know what I mean? I don't want a movie like,
right.
you know what I mean? There's,
Okay. Speak on it. Yes.
excuse me. I don't really want a movie just about Black pain, but I think that what Wakanda Forever does is has those stories and talks about them in a way that I think is powerful, in a way that I think is done respectfully, and it doesn't only focus on that. Like you mentioned, like getting back to Angela Bassett, like when she walks on the stage in the first scene, you're like, okay, I would die for this woman. Like,
Okay.
she got the
Tell
arms,
me,
she's got the presence. She's like
that's
queen, like a
that's
queen in a room full of people who are quote unquote like world leaders, and she's the only one who looks like she should be a world leader.
yes. Yes.
That presence.
Talk about when Queen Ramonda comes in, and it's like, okay, you already know Angela Bassett, like in this character, especially in most every character,
Yeah.
because I mean, the lady has been all over sci-fi and fantasy, and I mean, y'all need to scroll through her IMDb a little bit back farther than y'all are
Yeah.
thinking, because
Yeah.
I mean, the very first thing that I remember seeing her on was Critters 4.
Mm,
Critters 4 was the
yeah.
first movie I realized, but I didn't realize it until years later, of course,
Right.
after the movie
Yeah. Yeah.
had been out, like decades later. I just happened to watch it on a lark, and I was like,
Yeah.
this Angela Bassett up here. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been in Strange Days. She's been all over. She's been she's been in the DCU over in DC.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just her career is amazing, and she always has the authoritative character in the room. And with this, there is no exception to that. I mean, she came in and commanded that room. And she was like, okay, fam, so here's where y'all are wrong.
Yeah.
I have proof. I'm doing y'all a courtesy by
Yeah.
calling you out on it and letting y'all slide for now. But don't ever do that again. Right?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah. And then the Dormelage come in, and it's oof. I mean, that was like, I think, so incredible. So like, well, you know, I have 2 daughters, and I think seeing like these powerful Black women on screen is so amazing. I'm very affected by representation, not just for me, but for other people too, because it's like, you know, in that same sense of like when we witness Black joy, right, and Black excellence, it's like, God, this feels so good. I get that same feeling when I get to see somebody be excited about something that they never thought they could be. And the Dormelage have been that for a lot of people, and I think it makes sense because they come out and they're just these powerful, you know, statuesque, and they command the room themselves, and they will beat your, can I cuss on this?
Oh yes, you can.
Ass. They will beat your ass. And so I absolutely, yeah, I loved it. And but I think, like, again, you know, these levels of it's not just one dimensional. You have Angela Bassett being this powerful leader, and then I think the next scene we see her in is like just being a mom, like checking in on her kid, and being soft and trying to have a conversation. You get to see Okoye have like these moments where she's like laughing and having fun. You see 2 other Dormelage share affection for each other later on in the movie. So it's like having these levels of like, it's not just fighting and war and being this like persona of this elite army. It's like, no, like, we're also people too, and you know, these are the ways that we get to express ourselves. And I love that we get that.
That is exactly my favorite part about the entire production. Is any opportunity like this to humanize Black people, just to humanize us. There's the age-old saying back from the boomer era where you have to be, you know, parents would tell their kids all the time, you have to be, you know, 3 times or 10 times as good as the next person who is not of color, and, you know, eloquent and well-tempered besides, you know. I mean, and the danger of that is that you grow up becoming your own worst perfectionist. And I think that the nuances of human behavior, not just Black folk behavior, but human behavior, were just so well done throughout the entire movie, and I loved every minute of it. What was your favorite moment of the movie, if you have one? I know what mine is, but
God, it's tough because there's like so many things I really did love about it. I loved Namor and Shuri talking, and just like their conversations and having that, again, these soft moments between these 2 people. The moment of silence at the end of the movie was very powerful. That was a lot too. God. Yeah. It's tough. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, my favorite moment was right there at the end. The way that they sewed together the story just brilliantly when we see the young heir, who's also named T'Challa. It was a neat way, and not just from a viewer standpoint, but from a business standpoint, because of course, if Marvel wants to continue the story of Wakanda, then you want to establish a believable Black Panther role.
Yeah.
And gosh, I wish I was up on the comics, because quite honestly, I mean, I'll tell you what, friend, the day that I win the lottery, I see a lot of comic book purchases in my future. At
Yeah,
that
yeah,
point,
for sure.
you know, but according to the books, Shuri, of course, has her stint as Black Panther, but to have a new T'Challa Jr. come into the picture was a brilliant idea. And the little actor boy that they had come
He's so
in,
cute.
oh my goodness. Oh,
Yeah.
just adorable. And just such a great young actor.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that was definitely my favorite moment.
Yeah, I did love that. I will say this is the one, maybe the one time where I let myself get critical in theater, because I'm like, Nakia, you out there just leaving your kid while you're over here like agreeing to fight in some wars and stuff. You're a single mom. Go home. It's okay. They can take care of it. No, but yeah, no, I really did love that. I think it was a great way. Also, yeah, I really do. I think it was a great way to continue it, to let T'Challa live on, right? And that name and the legacy of the Black Panther being moved. And I really love, like, one thing that my best friend got really hung up on was like whether or not Shuri was worthy of being a Black Panther. And I don't think, and this is what I told him, I was like, I don't think that's a good question, because one, it's not about worthiness, right? I mean, and two, I think she is worthy. I think because you have a moment where you're upset and angry and your character breaks for a time doesn't define who you are. What defined who Shuri was how she acted in the end, when she just, came around and realized, like, this is not something we need to do.
I knew shit got real when at her mother's funeral, even M'Baku came over like,
yeah,
you
can be all right.
You good? And she's kind of like, yeah, how could I possibly be good?
Yeah.
I just buried my brother and now my mother is going in the ground.
Yeah.
So, and let me just say, the way that they reintroduced Killmonger back into the story, holy crap. Okay.
Yeah.
So when Shuri takes the herb, right? At first, I swore it looked like it was Queen Ramonda, like sitting on the throne behind her. And then when she comes around and it's Killmonger sitting there, I was like, oh, snap. I was, wow.
Killmonger, where'd you get your sweater? I want that sweater.
Okay. Oh, they draped him good, didn't they? Oh, matter of fact,
I'm not...
I'm just in love with, like, just give me the whole wardrobe. Like, just set up a shop, an Etsy shop or something. Come on, Marvel, give me that wardrobe. Yes. Oh, and it's funny because my first thought was like, well, you can't pick your family.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like every family has like the uncle or the aunt or the mom or the grandmother or somebody that's just ornery.
Yeah.
And this was the one among the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
But he had every right to be there. He was an ancestral Black Panther.
Yeah.
And I really, my heart stopped when he made too much sense. When he was telling her how she has every right to be angry. And you just a lot like me. And I'm like, oh no, Shuri girl. Yeah. Don't do it.
I think, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, the one thing I also loved was her Black Panther suit
Oh,
because
yeah.
the decorations, like they had the beads that mimicked the face paint that she
Hmm.
had. And then the gold trim that was like
Yep.
the little spice of Killmonger in there. And I was like,
Yep.
oh man, I was geeking out at the tech for sure. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, when she drops in, it's so good. Um, but yeah, I think that scene does a couple things. Like one, it does like it's good fan service, which I think is fine. Like fans want service. So, but I also think what it does too is further show how she wasn't ready to fully let go of her family. Like she wasn't grieving in the same way that that T'Challa got to grieve about his father and have like some closure and deal with, like, you know what I mean? Like he got to have this like real conversation with his father and confront him about some stuff. And she, I think that it just further showed how she wasn't willing to deal with some of that, to deal with the loss of her brother and her mom, and how the thing she had to deal with the most was her anger. And her anger, the Black Panther's anger was represented as Killmonger, which I think is just, again, like I really love that as far as storytelling goes.
I think also what struck me is that as the princess of a kingdom where the royal family were dropping like flies, she was very much alone.
Yeah.
But her people still came to her aid, surrounded her as best they could. Even Nakia, when they were outside that one moment, and she's kind of like takes her hands and is like, so listen, sis. So I feel some tension on your end.
Yeah.
Are we sure? And as she took her hands away immediately because she knew she was being read like immediately, and I was like, what I think was good is that she still had people surrounding her that cared about her well-being and cared about her spirit.
Yeah.
And that's something that as Black folk, just IRL, I always love seeing that when we're looking out for each other, when we're deviating away from the crabs in a barrel, like classic, stereotypical struggle that it has been cast upon us for decades when describing us.
Yeah.
That was a real, I was sweating. I was like, oh wow, Marvel, y'all about to go dark with this. Like, where are we going? Where are we going? And I think also it was very tender, even though it was fraught with tension. The end, near the end, where Shuri was about to strike down Namor. Whoa, man.
Yeah.
I mean, she took herself off of that spear. I was like, okay. In my mind, in my technical mind, I was like, okay, there's probably nanites happening and probably keeping her energy.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
I think it shows, like the suit at least seals up.
Yes. And then getting ready to just spear this guy. And I feel like they each had a moment. And this was almost a conversation, an IRL conversation between peoples of color too. Like, okay, y'all have been through trauma. We've been through trauma.
Yeah.
Do we really need to cause trauma on each other right now? Is that necessary?
Yeah.
If no, let me not spear this guy and let me just find another solution to this. And the fact that they each had that moment in their minds at the same time, oh my gosh, it just made that scene so much more poignant than if it only happened on one side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love the fact that they each kind of stopped and were like, all right, this has gotten way out of hand. So
I think too, like the other thing that I really loved, because I think the movie does at least from my perspective, right, which is a mask perspective, like I think it does a great job of doing a lot of female empowerment. Like it's visible, and but what I also loved for me was like seeing the two prominent male figures, M'Baku and Namor, have these incredible soft moments of like, like M'Baku in the first movie is always big and imposing and loud and like robust, you know what I mean?
And intentionally
and
so too.
yeah. But in this movie, like he gets these moments where he gets to you see him like laughing with his people. You see him having this tender moment with Shuri, which a thing I really loved about that was like it was a tender moment without it being romantic. It was like a big brother coming in, you know what I mean? And because
Yes.
I feel like so often anytime it's like, oh well, this guy is about to be tender, let's imply that there's some kind of thing, you know what I mean? And it didn't have to happen, and it didn't happen. And I think the same thing with Namor. He's got this obviously he's this king, and he's concerned about protecting his people, but he also like sits down and talks to Shuri and like shares food with her and like shows her like the love that he has for his people and how he brought them to light and all this like incredible stuff. And I think that those there's a lot to be said about how much work they put into displaying that, especially Black masculinity or just POC masculinity, when we are constantly like looked at as only being aggressive figures. And I think that really speaks to Ryan Coogler's writing and direction to be able to bring that out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the best thing they could have done is kind of, and I call it kind of the Aladdin sequence, where Namor takes Shuri through the areas that are populated by civilians. She's able to experience their just daily life, and the kids that kind of came up to her and were like fascinated and whatnot, and it was just such a moment, and it further humanized again. Marvel being very shrewd about humanizing the villain. Namor's cause was just.
Yeah.
And man, let me tell you, after the scene where he blows up the throne room, when he turns around and says, "You're the queen now. I'ma see you soon." I was like, oh boy, wow. Like he went there. He was like, bury your dead. You the one running things now, so we gonna have a discussion. I was like, woo, it was all the way around thrilling, well cast, well acted, well produced, well directed. And I look forward. What are your thoughts about the next part of the Wakanda franchise? Like, I personally, I need to see Wakabi come back, right? Because Daniel Kaluuya wasn't there, and the whole time I was like, where is this guy? What is he up to? What is he doing? And even during the movie, they even made like a little comment, like I think it was one of the other Dora Milaje that were like,
no, it was when Okoye gets fired.
Yes.
Which was a awful scene. Like awful in like, I mean this in an affectionate way of like, it was just a lot to deal with. Like it was so painful to see Okoye go through it. Again, the acting through the roof. God, because that's like the hardest woman, right? Like that's like she's the one, and she is just, she feels like she failed, and she cares so much about her people and protecting them that she gave up staying with her husband, and then now she doesn't have a job as the one thing she's lived her life for. So
that's it. And
brutal.
when Queen Ramonda had to act as queen boss lady that she
Mhm.
was, I mean, she's like, what would you have me do?
Yeah.
You lost my daughter. I've, asked you
Yeah.
out on this. You failed not once, but twice. What's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
told you not
gotta
to take her.
relieve,
You wanted to take her. Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
relieve you of duty. And
Mm.
when that spear went through the floor, I mean, it went right through my heart. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
It was rough.
And
But
of course, I will say that the amount of training that these ladies must have
Mhm.
had to go through for both films, like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like I already love Guerrera in her role as Michonne,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
over on The Walking Dead. So
Yeah.
I already know she badass, but woo, like the workouts alone, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow. I guess to answer your question, in terms of what I'm excited for, what I'm looking forward to next, it seems as though after the events that Shuri walks away from the mantle of Black Panther, and that M'Baku gets to challenge for it. So I'm honest, I would love to see him, become Black Panther. I think it would be great. I think I love him as an actor. And God, it's tough. Like, I don't know. Right. It's tough with Marvel because they keep trying to like ramp things up and like everything becomes bigger and bigger and bigger.
Mhm.
So I hope that Ryan Coogler stays writer and director of it,
Right?
and that he can, because I have a lot of faith in him as a director. I think he will be able to tie in something incredible in that way. And so, yeah, I'm excited to see like, if they do a time jump, right, and we have like teen T'Challa like acting up out there and having some hijinks, I think that'd be fun.
Right? Let me just say the other smart thing that Marvel has been doing. I don't know if I can't speak to whether it is intentional or not. But if you really looked at their full line of films, right? What they've been doing is almost something of a turnkey fashion where, for example, if you look at Steve Rogers, right?
Mhm.
Captain America.
Yeah.
He ends up giving up the shield,
Mhm.
handing it over to Falcon,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? Black male figure there.
Yeah.
Then we have the introduction of Shuri
Mhm.
as the replacement, if not temporary,
Mhm.
Black Panther,
Yeah.
Black female there,
Mhm.
right? Then now we've got the introduction of Riri,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
In the Wakanda setting. However, she's working with Stark Tech.
Yeah, she's Ironheart. Yeah,
So
so
now we're gonna have Ironheart because
yeah.
Tony Stark has died. So
Mhm.
now we're gonna have her now, and I'm like, it's amazing to me the little pieces that I see coming together little by little,
Yeah.
and I find it empowering. Again, can't speak to whether or not it's fully intentional on Marvel's part, but I think they're at least listening to their audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm very proud of the way that things have been turning out in the
Give us
MCU.
live action Miles Morales, you cowards.
Ooh, speak on it. Yes.
I would
Yes.
love that. Yeah.
Because that would round out the areas, and I'm gonna count that as well. Even
Yeah.
though it's in the animation sphere, I still count that as that is also a part of the turnkey
Yeah.
as well. I love the fact that there is this undertone that has been happening throughout where Black folk and people of color are starting to have more more prominence. with the 12 Rings movie as well. We had our Asian folks that were able to get in there as well. I want to see more of our Asian folks, all of our people of color. We've got our girl America over there now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, certain things where I feel like this is a grand renaissance happening right now, a POC involvement.
Yeah.
When it comes to superhero films. So, but my friend, what I want to do before we close for today, we've got to start talking about some dice. Oh yes, as
Oh yeah,
the name of the
TTRPG
show
professionals. I guess we should talk about some dice.
Yes, I mean, to the question, can you ever have too many dice? No. Nah, bro.
No.
No.
Yeah. I need
There
more.
is always room for more dice.
I need more. Yeah. In fact, you had on my favorite dice maker and friend of mine, Indrani.
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
my
Nonagon
gosh.
Dice. Go buy dice from Indrani, please. Nonagon Dice.
Yes, all. Let me tell you, there is, I mean, just like I said, man, I need to win a lottery somehow. I mean,
I hear you.
every new set of dice that she comes out with, it's so
It's incredible.
gorgeous. And I mean, I appreciate works of art in all shapes and ways and mediums. And I truly feel like that is like an artisan. Being a dice maker is an artisan of quite a hell of a caliber, because you're making handmade dice. You're working with materials that can be very finicky.
Yeah.
From everything from bubbles setting into the mold to sliding if things are not even. Like, oh my gosh. And then don't even get me started with the dice that are made of other materials other than resin. For example, I've brought my gemstone dice with me today. I have a tendency to just love amethyst. And so I've got my purple amethyst dice with me today. There it is. There we go.
Yeah.
And I love these. They're my answer to the fact that I am heavy-handed, because technically I love like metal dice more oftentimes than not. Let me see if I can. Yep, there we go. There's the focus. And these are just gorgeous pieces of amethyst that I was able to come across. But they're in between the weight of acrylic dice versus metal dice. So they are a happy medium. I mean, just the detail that goes into these.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's just amazing. So I've really fallen in love with gemstone dice. But can't get enough of purple. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
as you can tell. But yeah, do you have any
I'm the
dice to
same.
show us today?
Yeah, I'm the same with green. So I don't have a ton of dice, but one that is pretty special to me is one that my best friend got me for Christmas 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago or last year. Let's see. And I think.
Ooh,
Can you focus?
look at that.
Yeah. So it's steel. It's big. It's much bigger than. It's like twice the size of a normal, like Chessex die that you get
Yes.
decently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's loud. But the other thing, so the first time I rolled it on Christmas, or right after I got it, natural 20. I was like, all right, cool.
What? Ooh, and it synced up with you
I
right
know.
away. Yes, we love
Okay, so
that.
yeah, I am often the GM. I won't say forever GM because that's not fair to my best friend who's running a game for me. But I am very often, like outside of that, I'm pretty much always the GM. I enjoy being the GM. This die is a very GM die in that it is not. It doesn't roll crits all the time on people. It's so balanced. I will roll poorly, and then I will roll really well. And there is no rhyme or reason to it. There's no luck leaning on this die. It's like it's just it's fair. Like if you get a nat 20 on this die, it's fair. Because I will
snap.
roll a nat 1 the next one, or a 2 or a 3. So
Oh
I enjoy it for that
my
reason, because I'm about like having the players have fun. I don't want to kill my players. So I'm fine if I don't crit all the time. But yeah, it's a good die for that.
Wonderful. It is
Mhm.
beautiful. Oh my
Thank you.
goodness. Ah,
Thank you.
I mean, well, I am looking at our time together, and my friend, we are coming to the end of the program. But
Yeah.
Navaar, I just want to say thank you once again
Yeah.
for being on the show today. It's been so cool to just chill and chat and Wakanda forever and ever.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah. No, I loved it. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about this movie that we both loved. Because yeah, it was just like, all right, as soon as this is done, like we were either gonna DM about it or this
Right?
happened, and I'm glad that this happened. So
I'm so glad you were able to come through. So, if you're ready,
Mhm.
we're going to say a special farewell like we always do on this show. Let's do it together. Love, peace, and soul.
and soul.
This
And
is
this
how
is
we
how
roll.
we roll. Yeah.
Yes.
There we
All
go.
right. Love it. Love it. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to my listeners, my watchers. I'm just so glad that you could stop by the channel, check out this episode, and please feel free to spread the word. Your girl is going to get some back episodes over onto YouTube. So stay tuned to my socials for that. And otherwise, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be well. Bye.